The NTSB revealing the UPS plane that killed 14 people after crashing in Kentucky earlier this month had fatigue cracks. You can see the left engine ripping off the plane as it was trying to take off in these new photos. So let's bring in former NTSB investigator Charley Pereira with the latest for us. Good morning to you, Charley.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Charley, I'm so sorry for these families. There were three crew members that died. There were 11 people on the ground that were killed. Others were injured. What happened? What's the cause? How could it fall off?
Well, we won't know the probable cause until the NTSB is done with its investigation and report writing a year or two from now. But for now, from the pictures that they released yesterday, you can see pretty clearly that the left engine rotated upward and then left the airplane and went up into the air. So right now they're focusing on fatigue cracks on the mounts for that left engine that they found. And they've got their work cut out for them on the investigations. But basically it looks like that there was an inadequate maintenance inspection program on those left engine mounts to identify the fatigue cracks and replace that hardware before it led to a catastrophic event like this.
Yeah, I mean, Charley, you would think those cracks had to be pretty substantial, so big that they would have been caught in an inspection. When we get on a plane, is the plane inspected right before we get on, or is it just once a year?
Well, they discussed the maintenance interval for those particular lug areas already, and there was one done a couple weeks prior to the accident, or excuse me, the crash. And then about 4 years prior, there was another one as well. But obviously, they weren't sufficient in scope and detail to identify those fatigue cracks. So they're going to have to, well, they've already grounded the aircraft. The DC-10 and MD-11 fleet has already been grounded as a result of this. So now they're going to have to come up with a increased inspection frequency. Obviously they're going to check the whole fleet right now, and then after that they're going to have to do a increased frequency inspection with more detailed inspection requirements to prevent this from happening again.
Okay, let me read the statement from UPS. They say, we continue to grieve for the lives lost in the tragic accident involving Flight 2976. Before the FAA issued its emergency airworthiness directive for all MD-11 operators, UPS proactively grounded its MD-11 fleet out of an abundance of caution. We appreciate the National Transportation Safety Board's prompt release of preliminary findings and will fully support the investigation through its conclusion. Boeing says this: we continue to support the investigation led by the NTSB. Our deepest condolences go out to the families who lost loved ones, and our thoughts remain with all of those affected. So this type of a plane, the same type of plane, 200 people lost their lives in a similar incident back in 1979. Are these types of planes used for just for UPS or passenger planes as well?
Well, these have mostly been relegated to cargo use over the last 10 to 15 years. There was this previous accident back in the 70s. That one was attributed more to maintenance, inappropriate actions with regard to how they were mounting the engines using forklifts. This one, they have a lot of investigating to do to try to figure out what caused the fatigue cracks to start. So we'll have to wait for the board to do that. But in general, these things are no longer carrying passengers for the most part. They're either sitting in deserts, rotting away, or they've been relegated to cargo use. So that's a good thing. But you can still see the potential, even though this only had 3 people on board the crew, you can see the potential consequences if it impacts a neighborhood full of people like this one did.
Yeah, there were 11 people that were killed. I assume that plane, the fire was so big, it caught that building on fire. There was a child apparently that was killed, maybe inside that building, obviously not on the UPS plane. Thank you so much, Charley, for coming on.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too. We reached out to the FAA for a statement, but we did not hear back.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.